Welcome, everyone. Thank you for joining us for today's webinar. My name is Melanie, and today we will discuss the power of AI traffic counting and how its data will improve your decision making. Before we get started, I would like to start uh, and to walk you through a little housekeeping. This webinar will take 30 minutes. At the bottom of your screen, you can leave reactions throughout the presentation. On the right, you will see our chat box, Q&A box, and polls. Please use the chat if you have any comments. If you have any questions during the presentation, please type them into the question box. Our presenter will address them at the end of the presentation. If we will not have the time to get to your question, we will follow up with you via email. We'll also have a poll during the presentation. You will be able to answer and see the poll results once it's closed. And lastly, the webinar is recorded. The recording will be sent to a couple of days after the session ends. Now, without further ado, I will turn the stage to our presenter, Mark Gregory.
Thank you, Melanie, and welcome everyone to Unlocking Traffic Insights and Exploring the Power of AI Traffic Counting. Very exciting stuff. You're going to love this, the new gold standard in traffic counting. My name, again, is Mark Gregory. I'm a professional engineer. I've been with Traffic Logix over 13 years now. I've been in the traffic industry 30 plus years. And happy to be here and talk about traffic data collection. So what we're going to do real quickly is talk about some of the current traffic counting methods that are out there now. You've all seen them and used them and be familiar with them, just so everyone's on kind of the same page with existing technology. And then some of the limitations of that, just to go over that, so some of the people are aware of how that is. You're aware of it. Some of them that use this quite a bit already. And finally, we'll talk about the latest, like I said, the gold standard coming along is the intersection data collector. It's an AI unit, very powerful tool that you're going to love to have in your toolbox. So some questions after that. So we've been around over 2 decades, helping to redefine road safety. We're very proud to be a manufacturer, design our own products, whether it's rubber traffic speed tables or speed cushions. We got into radar speed signs shortly after we started the company. And then messaging signs, all those are smart signs. They themselves collect high accuracy data collection, whether it's day, date, time, speed, and volume as well. They can be cloud connected. Most are to get you almost live information on your mid-block locations. And then we moved into some speed plate, license plate speed cameras, whether you're using them for enforcement. If it's not legal in your area, they can be used for public safety awareness. It's the plate, and we have ticketing software for that as well. And most recently, we started on the data collection side. We have some side shooting radars that one of them, our newest, the Plus, also does some classification, and it does 3 levels of class, small, medium, and large. These devices that we developed were, by and large, reactionary, right? You had a speeding issue, and these were specific solutions that helped you specifically designed to help you attack those speeding solutions. And what we're going to talk about today, the intersection data collector, is more proactive, more on the planning side, design, used for real money when you're going to design something or whatever. This is a technology you're going to want to count on. You're going to want to have the highest standard to do that. So, but overall, we're proud to be one of the only company to offer multi-layer solutions, whether it's mid-block and now intersections, for a holistic view of your transportation system. You're going to love this, keep you up to date year after year, right? The goal, of course, has always been to slow vehicles down and make it safer for everyone, pedestrians, cyclists, motorists, and passengers, of course. Our mission is to save lives and build a better future, one solution at a time. So being in this industry, I've done this myself, been out there in the roadway. I remember even, I'm going to date myself here, but I remember the stopwatch and the clipboard and the tally sheets and all that back in the days. And then as technology improved, we're taking a step up every time, and we always, as professionals, want to do this. You want the best equipment out there. So mid-block, we went to tube counters, pneumatic tube counters, then count boards. Another step up. It's a little computer board. You get to punch stuff in manually, type that in. Very great improvement. You're able to do quite a bit more. There's one that's not, well, a few that's not on here. One is the in-lane counters. I don't know if anyone's familiar with Numetrics type counters, or High Star, they were called at one point. Great technology for in-lane counting. That was another step up in technology to get you more detailed information, accurate information per lane. The latest technology has been video. We've seen that for the last 5 or 6 years now. You're captured by just a video camera, and that's taken over the industry. There's also some other things that are out there using MAC address and satellite imagery, LiDAR, things like that are out there. So when they came to me in the company to look at this, they asked me different questions. I said, yeah, I've used all this. It's great stuff, but I said, there is a couple issues, and they wanted me to explain a little more. So, all these involves, human interaction, human error, some subjectional decisions you have to make on site at the moment, and some oversight. And it's really tough to get that 100% accuracy every time, right? Some of the standard issues you have, like tube counts, the hose has to be perpendicular to the road exactly, to get the great counts. No undulations in the roadway. If you get a hole in the tube, you got to recount the whole thing. Same thing with manual counts. You're counting on humans to stand there and do the work, which is great. They're all trained the same way. They can do that. I know when you get into some larger studies, you really want, like, the count boards still using human operators to do that. They have to be trained. And when these intersections get busy, in some of these large intersections, it's really tough to get there, especially if it's a long duration count. You want to do the 3 peaks, or you want to do this longer. It's a lot of money, a lot of effort. You're worried about safety. You're in the roadway. I don't know how many times people come up to you and say, hey, what are you doing? And while you're counting, you're trying to keep going, so it can be challenging. Great technology. It's all been around a long time. It's still in use today. Video is the same thing. It's the great thing with that. Again, a step up in technology. You always want the best. And that's been a nice feature. You're able to look at the video capture of what's going there. Our technology, our counter intersection data collector, also has a video feature. If you want to film it, you can film it, but the primary focus is the AI feature, which I will get into a little later. So let's get to this. I do apologize. Okay, so the intersection data collector, it's an AI traffic counter. You think of this like a facial recognition counter, and what it does, it uses triangulation, right? So it doesn't have to have the video on. You can just run it as it is. It will count turning movements, turning directions, volume, speed, up to 10 classes, soon to have 11. It's a great assistance for traffic engineers. Like I said, it's very accurate. It uses that AI technology, so it's very accurate when it's out there and set up correctly, right? It also has built-in Wi-Fi and LTE cloud service with the camera. So if you're out in a rural section of town and you want to count something that doesn't have internet service, it's not a problem. You can just set it up and run this thing along, and it will count. And then when you get to an internet area, you can upload this to the data processing center. It will then process the information, and then you can have that to use at your disposal. So it also has built-in LTE cloud service. So if you have internet connection, say you have a bunch of cameras, you can have technicians set it up. You can be in the office, and you can look at the image that's out there and say, okay, it's good to go. Run the study, and you're live to go with that. We also have a Ethernet-based, a power over Ethernet for our permanent camera system. So that's handy to use as well. Makes it so if you want to have a permanent location to set up for you're doing signal operation or whatnot, that makes it easy to do that as well. So the unit itself, you'll see on the right-hand side there, there's 3 components to it. There's the camera on top, which has a storage case and a little backpack that you can use as well. It also has the battery component in the center storage area, and the pole unit with the recoiled power cable is the 3rd component. The cable is recoiled in the base, and then as you extend the pole, it's hidden inside the pole for security reasons. makes it a nice feature as well. So easy to transport around. If you have areas that are difficult, I've even used we have a dolly for this. It's not for this system, but I used it. We sell a dolly. Makes it usable in any location, any setting you have. You can put it wherever you're doing your studies. So the image on the left there talks about large intersections because the camera has a throw of about 135 feet or roughly about 40 meters. And what that does is if you have a system that's set up and it's within that range of 135 feet, your accuracy is about 95% or plus of that. Gets beyond that, you still want to count it. You actually can add a second camera. It works seamlessly. You get the data as actually one report and using two cameras. And I can explain it a little better when we get to the roundabout section. I can show you that as well. So types of reporting. This does quite a bit. Obviously, we have the classes of speed and the volume, but what's unique, if you look there in the center, you can actually make your own vehicle classes. So you count it once, it has all the classes, whether you're counting PEDs or whatever. Then after that, you want to rerun different scenarios, you can do that. You can customize your own segments. What we have there, I think, set up is, the two-wheel vehicles and pedestrians, midsize and large. You can make really whatever you want. Doesn't cost you any more. The data processing of this it's fixed. So once you have the study that you did, you can run it multiple times in different scenarios. On the right-hand side, what you'll see is kind of the breakdown. It'll show a little more in future slides here as to what the output looks like. But it gives you a quick snapshot of the volumes, the classes, and the numbers in each unit. So what you'll get when you do a study, it's the data comes to you instantaneously. You have it immediately. You don't have to wait any duration of time. What you'll get is one crossing chart, the image there on the left. And you get one for vehicles, you get one for bikes if you're counting bikes, and one for pedestrians if you're counting pedestrians. The image on the right gives you a quick snapshot of, was this counting correctly? Mainly this count had mainly cars, which makes sense. And it gives you, just a quick view of what you're looking at for the study. Also does timeline reporting. So you want to look at different scenarios of classes of vehicles over time. That's a nice reporting feature. That's a snapshot. You can use any of these in reporting function as you want. If you're doing a master plan study or signalization timing or anything like that, you can look at all of this. Take from this reporting. Roundabouts. It'll do complex intersections, multi-lane roundabouts. Again, if it can see it, that 135 foot or 40 meter view is handy. And again, this is where we would use probably the image on the right. You'd probably use two cameras and it's set up seamlessly. And again, the reporting would look just like you have there. You would have only one crossing chart to show all the movements, even though you're using two cameras. It doesn't cost you any more. It's all under the same price of one count, and also would give you some breakdown of the classes as well. You also, as part of you have PDF reporting, but you also have your standard Excel format, in which this is one that shows the peak hour breakdown as well. You can get, if you need a custom CSV file, you need a separate column space value that you're looking for maybe say sim traffic or synchro you want to use this in. This would be something that you could then ask us or test. I know in Ontario they use tests, right? So with that, you could have a custom CSV file. You ask us to send that to the data processing center. We can look at doing that. We've done that for others. And then that goes seamlessly into that third-party program, which is a nice feature to have. And it doesn't cost you any more. It's all included in the price, right? Pedestrian reporting. You'll love this feature, right? This one shows on the right-hand side, you'll see it has four PED boxes that were set up for this count. You can do up to 8. And it's a very handy feature. A lot of pedestrian counting has been very much requested. It's asked often. This is a nice, simple solution. You set it up quickly, whether it's inside or outside. We've done one inside as well at an event, but you could easily move this anywhere and count outside as well. So nice feature to have, all inclusive in this one product. Speed study, another ancillary use of this product. I mean, this is a case where you got 5 lanes. This would be very dangerous to do with a tube counter, right? So you could do the same device that counts your intersections. You could also do a speed study, and you get the directional volume, the speed, as well as the class breakdown as well. So it's a handy feature for this product. Some of the reporting for speed is a little different. It gives you what you need. It gives you the min, the max, 85th percentile, things of that nature that you're always looking for in some of these speed studies. It gives you by direction, A to B, B to A, as well as combined as well. Gives you some timeline reporting there. Speed range, sometimes you want to look at this by bin. This is kilometers per hour, but if it was miles per hour, you could look at that as well. See where this is trending over the various, by direction and with all directions. This is a nice feature to have, something you will use in some of your reports as well. And lastly, the data collection portion of this. So if you buy a unit and you buy the hardware and you want different processing scenarios, you don't have to buy unlimited. You could buy 10 hours, you could buy 100 hours. Most people buy the unlimited portion because it's you can count whenever you want. A lot of times if you're doing a study and you're, say, a master plan or whatever, you really want to count 50 intersections. You don't have the money at the time, the effort to do that. So with unlimited data processing, you can do that. And that goes to each camera. It's an annual basis. You have all year to use that. With that, the unit has a standard 2-year warranty that comes with the device, but with unlimited data processing, you might want to get what's called the Premier package, basically extended warranty. So anything under normal wear and tear use, you can use this device, and it would be covered by the factory. So that's, I know we moved through that kind of quickly, and I do apologize for the delays we had there earlier. I don't know what happened there, but we got off track. But yeah, it's a fantastic device. Again, it's the next step up in technology, very high rated accuracy that you're going to use. You're going to depend on it. It's something that DOTs and others are going to want, need, and have and require as a specification, I think, moving forward. The camera industry that's out there now, they had some issues in Europe, actually made it illegal because of privacy laws. That's where this AI system is good, because although you can count video if you want, if that scenario moves over to the US, which it more than likely might, the AI camera that you're investing in is something that's going to be continued and legal to use. It's legal to use now in Europe as well. And it's something that you're going to want in your arsenal for traffic studies. So I appreciate your time. We're going to have some questions at the end here.
Yes, so we already have 2 questions lined up. So the first one is, what are some of the most common challenges you come across when it comes to collecting and analyzing traffic data? How would an intersection data collector help solve those challenges?
So I think the biggest thing is, like I talked about, that there's a lot of technology out there that's being used today, right? And the issue is the human error, the human factor, the training, the time it takes, and processing. But the failures you get with either the tube counts or issues in safety with the other thing, this is where a product gets you out of the roadway, gets you high accuracy, gets you comprehensive information. And this is the data collector will do that for you. So every time you can actually check every study. If you filmed every study, you can check the accuracy on every one. You'll get to a point where you won't really need to do that, because you'll understand that it's very accurate, set up correctly. So that's how I think it would help. Is there another question?
Yes. Is there a need for automated speed study plan? What is the benefit versus a data package plan?
Yeah, unlimited is great. I know from being in the industry a long time, like I said, a lot of times you're making compromises, and it's usually budget related, right? So this technology is used, if you're doing a master plan or you're looking for trip generation or something, you really want to do a bunch of stuff, but you're limited by the budget that you have, and maybe you've only approved for this one project. With this unlimited, you're buying for the year, right? An unlimited package. So you have the ability then to expand your scope at really no additional cost, because the processing is all included in that. You get the information and it's added to the benefit, the overall benefit of your solution. And with that too, then you can, if you have other data collection devices like our signs and data collectors that are collecting data mid-block, this unit added to that gives you a comprehensive view of your entire area of transportation use and traffic, and which is very powerful. You then can keep up to date on all your needs, your planning, whether it's paving operations or design or signal operations. So I think the unlimited is something that's you're going to want at least maybe every year, if not every other year, if you get your smaller community or whatever. But certainly at some point you're going to want that to cover everything that you got at a fixed fee. So,
Perfect. We have one more question.
okay.
How long will it take to process 24 hours of video? Also, can you talk more about the speed detection and the distance line in your diagram?
Oh, sure, sure. Um, so processing a 24-hour count, it happens really within a minute or two. It's really quick, depending on how many volumes you got there, what your class is set up, and the duration. Of course, takes a little longer, but it's done by a machine. It's done very fast, so it's really a matter of minutes. Speed. I could go back to that diagram if that helps understand where it shows the layout. How it works is if you're going to do a speed study, you set up that dimension, you see the distance line there between A and B. So when you go in the field, you set up your camera, you measure two fixed points, and that's part of the input into the setup for the study. You set that in there, and you know what that fixed distance is, and then that basically configures the accuracy of that study, and that's how that happens.
We're going to take one last question.
Sure.
So, what is the pricing for the ultimated plan?
The ultimate for the data processing portion of that is $9,000. The hardware is $7,000, but the unlimited data protection or unlimited data processing portion is $9,000 for the year. Unlimited use, as much as you want. So handy feature, real handy. Like I said, you can do smaller bins if you want, but most choose the unlimited just for the fact it gives you so much flexibility. You'll end up counting things that you wouldn't normally think you would have done, but since you have the device, you've invested in it. You're going to want to use it for things to get information, local information that normally you would have relied on industry things such as the IT trip generation manual or dated studies, prior studies. You no longer have to do that. You can get local, live, accurate, up-to-date information. So I want to thank you all very much for the time. Again, I want to apologize for the errors we had there in the past. Here's my contact information. Whoops. And there it is. And feel free to reach out to me. If you go to our website and hit the quote button, you also can get some local reps that can answer some questions as well. But I'm available for a Zoom call anytime you want. We can get into some live information studies that have been done and really dig in deep to the actual use of the device. So I want to thank you so much for your time and appreciate your attention to that.